Episode 9. Please don't forget about me. Hello, this is Christina Choi. Today's global citizen story is about an old woman named Bok Deuk Kim. She was a survivor of comfort woman system, which was a war crime committed by the Japanese military that stripped girls and young women of their human rights and dignity. Her name Bok Deuk means to gain luck, and her father gave her this precious name so that she may live a life full of blessings. She was born in 1918 in a historic city by the south shore of Korea. She was the eldest child of a poor family. Although they were poor, they lived happily and worked diligently. Her father loved her very much, but he passed away when she was 11 years old. As the sole breadwinner, Bok Deuk's mom had to work at a fishing net factory. Bok Deuk bore the heavy burden of helping her mother at the factory while also taking care of her younger siblings. One day, a man promised a factory job that would pay well. So she thought that she could alleviate the burden of poverty and help her mother. But before she had a chance to tell her mom, the man forcefully dragged her onto a boat which arrived in China. At first, she and other young girls on the same boat wondered why they were brought to the battlefield, not to the factories as they promised. Only after they were raped by the group of Japanese soldiers did they realize that they had been deceived and become sex slaves. They resisted with all their strength, but suffered every day. Their pleas and begging fell on deaf ears. Even when they fainted from exhaustion, they continued to be raped by dozens of Japanese soldiers each day. They couldn't believe how this could happen to human beings. But no matter how much they cried, they couldn't go home. They called these girls comfort women. If they became pregnant, they would be shot to death or have their babies taken away from them so that they could continue their duties as comfort women. They were terrified of becoming pregnant. Most of these girls, who ranged from age 12 to 19, received inhumane treatment. Bok Deuk fainted from mysterious shots, pills, and surgeries that she received after being raped by numerous Japanese soldiers. She was dying of shame, exhaustion, and hopelessness. After years of this hell toward the end of the World War II, when Japan was defeated by the Allies, she was able to escape. The ship sunk by an explosion, so Bok Deuk hid with two other comfort women at an island nearby. After hiding for 1 year in a deserted island nearby the Philippines, Bok Deuk was able to get on a ship that was heading toward Korea. For the first time in 7 years, she was finally back in her hometown. The village and the sea remained the same, but her life had completely changed. To her despair, she found out that her mother fell ill and passed away after having anxiously awaited her daughter's return. Her orphaned younger siblings had disappeared, and she couldn't figure out whether they were alive or dead. Her heart and body were devastated, and she was extremely lonely. She eventually met a man and lived with him, but because of her past trauma, she couldn't have any children. The man was an alcoholic and violent toward her, blaming her past as dirty and contaminated. She endured intense suffering, loneliness, dejection, and writhed in agony. She had developed gastrointestinal diseases, heart problems, and pain in her arms, legs, all over her body from her time as a comfort woman. Guilt and shame tortured her the most. She believed that she couldn't have kids because she had been tainted by the Japanese soldiers. Due to shame, she didn't tell anyone and suffered in silence for more than 50 years. Then one day, she underwent a big transformation. She participated in an open rally in front of the Japanese embassy in Seoul in 2003. It was a meaningful event where she realized that it was they who committed crimes, who should be ashamed, not us. As the comfort women got older and many already passed away, she decided to have courage and speak out for the sake of justice. In Nagoya, Japan, many Japanese women wept when they heard Bok Deuk testify about her painful past and suffering. One Japanese couple even came to her and asked for forgiveness. Bok Deuk gained courage and empowerment from these interactions. Realizing that silence wasn't helping anyone, she decided to speak up even more loudly. She received many letters of consolation in her hometown, Tongyang. She said she was most comforted by letters from high school girls. Every weekend, some high school girls came to help clean her house, do laundry, and eat meals with her. She was so thankful for these girls who were at an age where they could have many dreams. She thought about how she could reclaim her youth that had been stolen by the Japanese military. She had always been hard-pressed for money since childhood. Even when she returned to her hometown, all her hard-earned money was spent on her alcoholic partner's medications and medical bills. But after his death, she had saved up to $20,000 selling green onions and dried anchovies on the streets. Even though she lived in poverty her whole life, she gave all she had because she wanted to help students who couldn't afford to study and achieve their dreams. In April 2012, Tongyang's Girls High School had a scholarship ceremony. Bok Deuk met two high school girls who came from difficult backgrounds. She held their hands and said, "I'm giving this because I'm thankful. This isn't a lot of money, but please receive it. I wasn't educated, but you should learn as much as you want." And she wrote a book about her story. The first reason was so that this painful history wouldn't repeat itself, and secondly, in order to spread a message about world peace and human rights. I met Bok Deuk Kim in person a few years ago when she was 99 years old. I was deeply touched by her gentle smile and warm hands. What was her remaining wish? She said, "I just wished I had a normal life. In my next life, I'd like to meet a nice husband and live happily with multiple children." I'm most envious of those who have children. I would be able to die in peace if Japan apologized and offered reparations. She received care from a kind medical team at a nursing hospital in Tongyeong back then. Then she passed away the next year at age 100, as the oldest comfort woman survived. I believe that Bok Deuk's generous heart and giving hands are stronger than ruthless military power over helpless young women. She not only survived the inhumane and horrific treatment during her teenage years as sex slaves, but also she kept her spirit of love and humanity. She donated all that she had with the hope of instilling a better life than herself to the future generation. Isn't this the global citizens' mindset and attitude we should model after? Thank you. Comfort woman refers to girls under the age of 20 from Korea and China who were forced to be sex slaves to Japanese soldiers during the Second World War. There were an estimated 200,000 to 300,000 Korean comfort women who were victims of war, and currently there are only a few scores of comfort women still alive today.